to just start. We have our recording going. We're starting with our preamble and our welcome. We appreciate everybody coming out today. Welcome to this meeting. The meeting is being streamed live, isn't it?
Not today. It's being recorded.
Okay.
But it should be posted tomorrow.
That's we do stream sometimes. With the move to the new facility, we're still working on getting the streaming up and running out here. But yes, the meeting recording will be posted tomorrow. I'd like for y'all to just know a little bit about why we're here. The Advisory Plan Commission is who we are, and we meet and operate under the guidelines found in the City of Scottsburg Comprehensive Plan, the Unified Development Ordinance, and the APC Rules and Procedures. Petitions brought before our commission will be evaluated against those documents and on the merits of the application. In this meeting, each applicant will be given the opportunity to present their project, followed by a public comment period, and during the comment period, individuals may speak in favor of or in opposition to the application. Our administrator, which is Carmen, will call on those who've indicated their desire to speak, and should you decide that you'd like to comment but you haven't indicated so when you signed in, we'll give you a chance to speak as well. Questions could be asked, but they should be directed to the commission. Speakers are asked to keep your comments brief, courteous, and to the point, focusing strictly on the application itself. We understand many of you have similar opinions on matters at hand, so please try not to repeat comments that have already been made. And we ask for a limit of 3 minutes per speaker so that all interested parties might have the opportunity to participate. After the public comment period is closed, the commission will conduct their own discussion, and the commission may ask the applicant for clarification or for additional information if appropriate. At the conclusion of this time, the commission will vote on the application, and for petitions to change the Scottsburg zoning map, the role of this commission is merely to review the applicant's compliance with the appropriate ordinances and to make a recommendation to the City Council. The commission will vote to send the petition to the council with either a favorable or an unfavorable recommendation, or with no recommendation at all. The commission may also vote to table an application until further consideration at a future meeting. The council has the final authority to approve or deny any changes to the zoning map. Now, other petitions, such as primary plat, secondary plat, development plan approval, are approved or denied by a vote of this commission. Specific conditions might be attached to any of those conditions, recommendations for approval. So tonight, we have one item on the agenda, but before we do that, we're going to start and introduce the board. Which end do we want to start with? Who wants to start? Mark, you start.
Mark Bridgewater, just a citizen member of the board.
Jeremy Edgar, city engineer.
Brad Stotts, Vice President and Commissioner appointee.
Carmen Bowley, Director.
I'm Eric Lowry, I'm President. Perry Hayes. I'm
Lisa Baker, I'm just a citizen appointee.
Very good. So Carmen, I'll turn it over to you.
First thing you guys have tonight are approval of your July and September minutes. So those should be in your packets. The July is your regular meeting and September is your special meeting.
Hopefully you've had a chance to review those. Does anybody have any comments or questions on them? And we'll entertain a motion to approve. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? All in favor? Aye. They are approved. Any old business, Carmen?
No old business tonight.
No old business. New business tonight.
Okay, new business is the Summit on Main. This is their secondary plat, which is final plat approval. So after this, they would be able to start going through the process to pull building permits and stuff. As you guys can see on the very back of your packets, there are some notes. These were emailed out as well. It includes some conditions that the property had. So that first section is what is going to have to be on the plat, which they've included, as you can see, in really small print, but I blew it up on my computer. It's there. So that's what's on that. And then they're also requesting 2 waivers within it. And the only other big piece of information you all need kind of for logistics is that this will be approved with the contingency that it receives drainage approval from the Board of Works on October 28th. Typically, the Board of Works meets before us, so they've already received it. But because of the move, the Board of Works meeting was postponed a little, so that will be next week. But other than that, John,
was prepared by Mark Gardner. He's the surveyor of record on this project. But we worked close with Mark Gardner on the layout of the plat. So what we're proposing is a 30 lot or unit residential duplex subdivision. So each duplex will basically have a lot line that goes right down the middle that splits each unit into its own entity. So when we say 30 lots, it's 15 duplexes with 2 units in each one, if that makes sense. So on the plat, Carmen mentioned the 2 waivers we're requesting. One is for a reduction in the width of the right-of-way. And since this is going to be a privately owned and maintained development, the right-of-way width we're proposing is 38 feet versus the 50 feet. The streets will be the same as any city standard street as far as the width. They'll have curbs and gutters, but the right-of-way will be 38 feet. And that will include, utilities will be running in that easement as well. But it just allows for some flexibility in the spacing of the duplexes, so that everything's built the way that we need it to be built. So that's the first waiver request. The second waiver, she mentioned, was just 1 entrance instead of 2. So we're showing just the main entrance off of North Main Street there to access the development. And that pretty much summarizes our proposal. Jeff, Jerry, you guys have anything to add to that, or? We're happy to entertain any questions, answer any questions.
Does it not go all the way to the, what is it, 3rd Street or? I noticed that there's another street on the other side, on the east side of that. It doesn't go all, the development doesn't go all the way to that street?
No.
Okay. I seen you had just 1 entrance there, and I didn't know whether it went all the way down to the other street. I noticed there's no houses there or anything, but I didn't know whether it's part of the development.
Right.
Yeah, I have it. It was emailed, just a number in the package. But it's listed.
But as far as all the, the technical items, the engineering on the utilities, the drainage, all that's been taken care of. We've gone through, a couple tech review meetings to iron out the details and address any comments or concerns as far as the design goes. Of course, Carmen mentioned we still need to get drainage approval, final drainage approval from the Board of Works next week. So.
Right, and then if you guys have any questions about kind of the technicalities that go with the waivers, Jeremy has reviewed them. We've kind of had an engineering team reviewing it, as long as our city attorney and Mr. Wagner also reviewed those, so.
Well, I can ask a quick question. This is a member.
Jeremy?
Well, thanks. Are the utilities above ground or below ground as far as electric?
They're all below ground.
Everything's below ground?
Everything's below ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we check with the fire department to make sure they had any issues with only 1 entrance in?
Yes, but they actually conducted, I don't know what you call it, a model that, James gave the largest fire truck measurements, and they're good with it. They approved it, and they approved the hydrants in the property as well.
We're installing, I think, a hydrant in there. There's 1 across the road too.
I just wanted to make sure that.
I have the same question.
I was out of state at the preliminary meeting. With these waivers, has there been any material change to the plat that was approved first? Were these waivers, did they come in after, or were they included in the plat and just now?
No, there hasn't been any significant material changes.
Okay.
They were formality of it.
And that's what I wanted to get the clarity on, was that we're not looking at something that is materially or significantly different than
No.
was presented and approved previously.
That's correct, yeah.
So there's not any plan for streetlights or sidewalks?
Sidewalk along North Main Street, but not interior.
Not nothing interior?
Right.
And
And
there's,
as far as lighting goes, I think it will just be on the buildings themselves, right?
Put the poles in your 2 and phase 3 would be streetlights.
Okay,
What's that?
so phase 2 and phase 3 will have streetlights once they build the road into the property. So the first 4 units actually run on North Main Street. So
Yeah.
there's no road construction required for those first 4 units. But when they move on to phase 2 and build the roadway in, they will install some streetlights.
Streetlights.
And the sidewalks aren't required inside the subdivision since it's not, it won't be a public street. So the main street side will have it, the sidewalk because it's a public street, but inside is private, so they don't have to require the
Yeah.
sidewalks.
And I know there are times when requests are made in the future for the city to assume something and make it, part of the city. And at that time, obviously, those considerations would come up in terms of would it meet the standards to be accepted and what have you. But that's down the road. That's not part of what we have to consider tonight.
Well, that's actually included in one of the plat informations, so this is, they're agreeing in the plat to, for this to remain private development, it can never be dedicated to a city street. So-
All righty then.
Well, I know at the, what is it, Moonglow 1, I think, is where they request us to put in streetlights there because everybody there's no sidewalks. And everybody has to walk in the street.
No, they look good, they're going up, they look real good.
Huh?
They're going up, they look real good.
Yeah, I know that, but the redevelopment was putting those in, and I didn't know, I wasn't on any of these committees, whatever that was platted. I didn't know whether it needed to be in the plat, because we're saying that we was gonna have any, I can see down the road that somebody's gonna say, hey, we need to have streetlights in there.
I think the streetlights are kind of like the sidewalks, where since they're private, since it's a private development, that's on the owners, it's not on the
Right.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know whether Moonglow 1 was part or private or not.
No, it was public.
It was private.
Yeah, it's still public.
Still,
So, one more question.
Yeah.
If you all were to sell this development down the road to another owner or somebody else, would these same contingencies stay with the new owners?
Yeah, yeah.
It's all listed on this plat, so it carries over from owner to owner.
Okay.
I think we all know there have been places in the city and in the county where there's been a private development and then things change over time and things don't. But regardless, again, that's why it's a private thing, and people who buy into a private thing, they need to know that. And this is all laid out here. They understand when they purchase it that this is what I'm buying, and it's not in the city, and the city doesn't maintain it on bill. So having that clarity up front is really important. Because nobody likes a surprise,
Right.
After the fact. And so it's good to get all that clarified.
Yeah.
One last thing, since it's a bit private, is there going to be an HOA or anything like that? It's just still going to be just each individual owner?
There'll be like restrictive covenants that are recorded with the plat
Gotcha.
that spell out, all the restrictions and rules for the community. So it'll be clearly,
But there's no plans for an HOA group. Each individual person is responsible.
no,
for
not at
meeting
this
those
point,
things.
not at this point.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
and you're not planning on that being the streets and stuff, you're gonna have her say that the city should take those over?
No, it'll be private.
I know it's private now.
That's in the agreement, that's in their agreement to.
Agreement.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so the snow removal and all that stuff is going to be done by a private company,
Yes,
not the city.
correct. Yeah.
I see that the trash is gonna be done with, I guess, outside. The city's not gonna pick up stuff
Correct.
in there.
Yeah, phase 2 and phase 3 will be private,
Yeah, private, yeah.
private trash collection. Yeah. There'll be a screen dumpster on site.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is city.
Huh?
Phase 1 is city.
Yeah, those are the ones that face Main Street there.
Yeah.
So, for our role here, that's why we have standards, and that's why we go through, and the technical advisory committee has reviewed everything even though it's gonna be privately owned, the city's not gonna, on these second and third phases, not gonna provide services like trash and snow removal, all that. But we go to the extent that we go to under our ordinances to make sure that what they're building and how they're laying it out meets safety standards and meets appropriate standards for a layout. But once that's done, basically the city's role then is finished. Once it's built, that's a private piece of property. It's like somebody mentioned a gated community or something. It's a totally private entity back in there. So the city really doesn't have any role in any of the ongoing maintenance, any of that ongoing. Now, we're gonna, obviously as a city, we provide public safety response, and that was part of the fire question that you asked and those kind of things. But
Similar to the duplexes at the golf course.
yeah, that's another good example. So I say all that to say this isn't the first time that this has been done in the city of Scottsburg. You know, it's not common, it doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened, and we have more than one of them that are set up in a very similar way.
And I also reviewed the spirit of all the zoning and the measurements and so forth are very, very close. They're right there, so we're not doing anything too small or too big or what have you, so. That was my concern immediately is when I saw this, is I started checking on all that and saw it right there, so.
Very good.
And since it's zoned R2, they're a little different than what we
Yes.
normally see here.
Yes.
We normally see R1 zonings come in front of the board, so.
And even though really, we're just making sure that we're looking at these two waivers, but I don't know how, I mean, hopefully, it's very successful, but I'm interested in, without an HOA, how the maintenance of streets and sewers and something gets clogged up, and how that's gonna work, because there's gotta be but that's not our.
Well, yeah, that's somebody who buys in there. Those are good questions. You know, for the person who's going to buy in the second phase, and I'm sure they'll have the answers to that.
Right.
Maybe able to explain
Yeah,
how
there may be
that's going to work.
eventually an HOA set up, or a management company, in a minimum, you know, would handle all the maintenance, you know, or calls about.
Like, is there a lift station in this development for sewer and
No,
all that?
no lift station. It's all gravity flow
Perfect.
out to the street, so, yeah.
Very good. Well, we usually do board questions and then public questions. We've kind of mixed everything together, which is fine. And it's nice to be a little bit informal, not have to be so structured all the time. But I want to make sure here as we get ready to proceed then, any other questions from anybody on the board? Any other questions or comments from the public?
Yes, I have a couple. I'm the city council member on that side of town. My property butts up against part of their project, but we're a little further down the road. I've talked to probably 80% of the people who will affect on my side of town, and all they're worried about is flooding. Well, I suppose they're supposed to have a retaining pond or something?
Yeah.
Okay, retaining pond. And there is sidewalk there. Craig Park does have a sidewalk on the other side of the street. There are street lights already down there. My second concern is this four-way stop at Owen and Main Street. We call it Little 500. They don't stop at that stop sign. So we're probably gonna have a little bit more traffic flow, because if you don't watch out, somebody's gonna drive in front of you down there. I mentioned to the police chief, he said look into it, but I'm worried about the safety. We have a lot of young kids, we got Craig Park over, we got a lot of old people over there. But everybody I talk to, since they know we're gonna have a retaining pond, they're all for the project. Because everybody that lives on that side, we all have double lots. First Street never went in because of flooding. But everybody over there I've talked to is very for the project. They think it'll be a very good project, not a place to put it. They're just worried about the water, the retaining pond. Well, if it's working, I guess the city's gonna take it over after it's done.
No, it'll also be privately owned and maintained, so we do have a stormwater detention basin.
And then one of the things that was mentioned is an approval of the drainage plan.
Oh, okay, good.
The thing is, the approval of the final project is contingent upon a drainage plan being
Okay,
approved.
okay.
Yeah,
I just want to know,
that's what the board of works next week. like-
yeah, well, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I just want to say everybody in our side of town is very excited about the project. And 'cause I've lived on that side of town probably, oh my God, almost 35 years. Me and my wife, we've lived on 4 houses. My mom and dad had rented 2 on there when I was young. me and my wife have owned 2 houses over there. We are the people of Second Street, and we're very friendly. We talk to a lot of people. We know a lot of people. We know everybody. But they're really excited. I've been trying to keep them up on everything. We had quite a few people at the first meeting wanting to know about it. And I kept up and went ahead and thanked the city councilman to make sure we're going to get off our deal. But I think it'll be a great project for us over there. We can get that traffic problem took care of. I think we'll be fine. So, and good luck and the best luck to you. We're looking forward to having new neighbors.
Thank you.
So, that's it. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Well, that being the case then.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Have you had anybody oppose?
No, once they found out they was gonna have some kind of retaining pond, they was for it. Because most of the houses right there don't have a double lot till you get past on the other side of the project. Now, we've got Dave Spain's house, it's not primarily got houses, First Street can never go in because they built houses at the end of First Street on both sides. And it's a flood area, and it's got so many mature trees in that lots that it would take, I don't know, like even cleaning it up, it is going to hit that flooding. But no, everybody seems very excited. I mean, we're very open-minded on our side of town. We know the city's going to grow, and we're for that. We just don't want our property to get soaked or anything. I don't think it will.
Well, that's why we have a drainage team and engineers, and I know the mayor's been talking for a couple of years about addressing drainage as a very high concern for any of our projects here. So, yeah, this isn't the only place, obviously, around town where we have drainage issues, and I'm excited to see it become a high priority for this group, for our board of works, for the drainage board, and that it's been needed for many, many years, as we know. And so, it is a very high priority, and I thank you for bringing that up, Rick.
Well, I think everybody kind of knows. I think I don't know how many cars out there. I told her, if you need that, you call me, I'll look into it for you. And that's what my job is, and that's what I try to do. I try to be very active in my community, on my side. You know, like I said, I've lived it forever. I've watched the kids grow up. I've watched a lot of stuff go on over there. But yes, we're very excited and we're very happy to be a part of this project.
Very good. Thanks, Rick. Anybody else have any questions or comments in the public portion?
And another thing was to say, it's good that where this is happening, we're getting that new fire station we've been needing for many, many years, and thanks to Rick and city council and stuff, and redevelopment, couldn't ask for anything better. It's come along pretty good.
Very good. Thank you. Well, then, nobody has anything else. We'll close the public portion of the meeting. Anybody on the board have any other questions or comments or discussion here internally? Otherwise, we're at the point now where we'll accept the motion to
One to ask.
we'll accept the motion either to, oh, go ahead.
I move that we send PC-6-25 with a favorable opinion to city council contingent upon PC-6-25 receiving drainage approval from the Board of Works.
Well, this is not something that we send to the city council.
Oh, it's
But that is a very, very nicely worded motion.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But we vote on it here, and this is the final call for this one. So the motion, the motion would be then to approve the plat, the secondary plat as it's been presented, and you can include the contingencies here. Okay, very good.
I would like to add.
Take two.
Yes. I move that we approve PC-6-25 tonight, contingent upon PC-6-25 receiving drainage approval from the Board of Works.
I think that'll work, Carmen.
Yep, I got you.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Then we'll vote. All in favor? Any opposed? It's approved unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you bringing a project to our city. We always like to see folks come in and help the city grow, and we appreciate that very much. Any announcements, Carmen?
The only announcement is you guys will not be
good project, good for Scottsburg. So it's a win-win-win all the way around, so thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And to be completely, there's a word that I wanted to use there and it's gone, but anyway, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, there you go, that's the word. Let's thank you very much.